What's up, everybody? This is Dominic D'Angelo. It's ad-free shows. It's Rumor and Innuendo. Wu-Tang. Up, but, bip, boop. Wu-Tang. Ain't nothing to F with. And we're not nothing to F with either because we got to talk about Survivor Series. We got to preview that. I'll give my predictions. We're going to preview the AEW, the Dynamite, which is a Continental Classic fueled program tonight. And then I also want to get your thoughts, your Ultimate Survivor Series team. If you were here yesterday, you will know that I made the pitch for everybody to chime in with their 4 people they would put on their Survivor Series team. Can be of any era, any mix and match, any talent you want. Who would be your Ultimate Survivor Series team? Shout it out in the comments, and I'll be happy to pop them up on the screen and give you my feedback. And I will give you mine as well. Jake says, morning innuendoms. That's right. It's just me solo today. Robert isn't enjoying life in the good old city of New York. So he's partying down. Triple E says, fun fact, Bret Hart only wrestler to cameo on Simpson and American Dad. Yeah, how about that? I did see that. Bret Hart's awesome. That Simpsons, I have that figure. Do I have it? Yes, I do. Look at it. One sec. Scared my cat. Boom. Speaking of. Boom. So there it is. Bret Hitman Hart. Great cameo. All right. What else we got in here? Johnny Disco says, good morning, R&I. And Alt Jake says, I had to miss yesterday because I was modding for the Pro Wrestling Times run-in show. Oh, interesting. But Raw was not a taped show. It was live from my state, Arizona. That's right. After I got done recording, I was like, I think SmackDown was taped. Not Raw, but good for them. That's great. Glendale's, Arizona's on my bucket list to visit. So excuse me while I pop this. It's not a beer. It's a Zevia. Do you guys know what a Zevia is? It's a stevia soda, and it's black cherry. First time trying it. But yes, let's cover some bases here. I think there's some news stuff to talk about too. I have been kind of off the radar here with the holiday season. And my shoot job going on. So let's take a look, see what is on tap here. Oh, yes, we do have to talk about this. Ricky Starks, let's talk about this whole thing going on. So Ricky Starks appeared at GCW at the Hammerstein Ball. Was it the Hammerstein Ballroom, or they were somewhere else, weren't they? They were somewhere else. But he appeared at GCW, and looked like the match was booked for, several matches were booked for him upcoming for the promotion. Yeah, so he made appearance at Dream On show on November 23rd. How the former FTW champion, however, was pulled from the announced dates only days after the Elite promotion. By the Elite promotion, All Elite Wrestling is what they're referring to. This was a curious development as Stark's other indie appearances were not canceled. So, according to Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful, there were some maybe added situations that came into play with Ricky Starks being booked off the show. And hold on a second. We just got a little update here, I think, unless that was old news. Yeah, my inbox didn't update, so it was all the way back there. Let me pull this up real quick. But here we go. Contract update. Was this today? That's an old thing too. But yeah, he is no longer on the card. It seems like a weird situation because he was booked. Here we go. Pulled from GCW. Okay, so it says, this is according to Fightful Select here. Past weekend, Ricky Starks made an appearance at GCW where he spoke about being frozen out with an AEW. And then on November 26th, Fightful reported that AEW picked up his option last spring and his deal goes into 2025. The same day, he had an interview with Chris Van Vliet that spoke about his absence from AEW TV. He had some interesting comments, too, when it came to being paired with Big Bill. And Big Bill was called Big Willie, and he was called Little, and said that he got that kind of vibe when he was tagging with Hobbs, too. GCW sources claim to Fightful Select Sean Ross Sapp that Ricky Starks has been pulled from all planned upcoming appearances with the company by AEW. We're told the decision was made on November 26th. So that was yesterday, and relayed to Starks. Among the reasons we're told is that AEW pulled Starks were comments made by Effie towards Tony Khan's father, Shad. We don't have context of those comments yet. and are seeking out information. There were some within AEW that had suggested working his GCW appearance into a work, but we're told that wasn't the case. So, sounds, according to these reports, that maybe GCW FE in specific maybe had rocked the boat a little bit. Tony Khan took exception and then pulled Ricky Starks from the appearance. So a pretty weird situation. Ricky Starks is I think, a good top star in wrestling, and has not been used on AEW. And it's just a very peculiar situation. I know he's great friends with Cody. I know he's great friends with Jade Cargill. Ricky's such a talent, and I think there is so much untapped potential when it comes to him. Haven't seen what he's totally capable of. I think, unfortunately, with it when it comes to AEW. But yeah, it's a bummer, man. It's like these constant things of wrestlers not being there, whether they're hurt or things like that, or there's creative differences. It is a real reflection on the company itself of AEW when it comes to, hey, why is, you can't imagine this stuff going on in WWE for, and there's been times where in the Vince era, there would be unexpected, unpredictable pushes and pulls because of McMahon's wild nature. But that's not the case anymore. And even when he was there was a certain extent of, who's under contract and who isn't. That it's all just a Vince creative decision. But when it comes to the landscape of AEW and how some of their talents have been used or not used, it is a head scratcher. And it's a reflection on the company. That's your talent. It's one of your top name talents that you can quote unquote call homegrown. He got his start. He got his name to prominence in NWA originally, but Cody Rhodes caught wind of him and got him booked onto the show, and then ultimately got signed. So he is one of AEW's quote unquote homegrown talents, and it's a shame they didn't do right by him. And maybe that, I don't know the whole situation, but it's an unfortunate thing because I know how talented he's got, charisma, he's got good looks. Everything like that. So it's just a very, very weird situation. We'll see what is going on. Triple E says, why not a beer? I'm saving for Thanksgiving. That's basically what I'm doing. I do have an icy light mango in my fridge, though. I do have one of those. So I might be tempted tonight. We'll see how it goes. We'll see. But wanted to touch upon that before we get to, I guess, let's lead into the AEW Dynamite preview here. I did have it pulled up. I have many tabs open, so bear with me. But yes, it's what a wild week for pro wrestling, huh? Pretty nuts. It's just crazy stuff going down. So here we go. All Elite Wrestling. This is courtesy of SCScoops.com and my boss Michael. So All Elite Wrestling returns to Chicago's Wintrust Arena tonight on TBS at 8 p.m. with a stack card featuring Continental Classic tournament matches and championship action. Here we go. We have Darby Allin versus Brody King, a rematch from their bloody feud, with Allin looking to overcome the size disadvantage. Continental Classic. This is a Continental Classic match. Darby, they had him close out the show. Wonder if the Death Riders will come into play with this. I wouldn't want to see Brody King get jobbed out again. I just don't think that behooves anybody. I hope they make him get the win here against Darby, even if it's clean. I think Darby can lose again. He's kind of, physically, he's kind of Teflon, and then metaphorically, in certain ways, I think he is Teflon too at this moment in time. Claudio beat him. You want to keep, I don't know. It's just, Darby's a star. How they've been handling him with this thing, I don't think it's done him too much service, because it's like the expectations on the closing of Full Gear was that, hey, we're going to get a decent surprise here. And it was Darby Allin, who we've seen time and time again. So it's just like, he's great. I think he could be, a champion here, a world champ at some point here. But I just don't think that they've done him right the past specifically on Full Gear. I think his match with Claudio was great and everything like that. What is Mike Head now? He's messing with. So there we go. Speaking of Claudio, he'll be taking on Ricochet in a Continental Classic tournament match. Clash of Speed versus Power. So this head scratcher. I think this is a head scratcher of a match. You're having Claudio come off hot off a big win against Darby Allin and looking very, very credible. And then Ricochet in turn is he's coming off a loss against Takesha. And I don't you're putting both these guys in a bad position to lose. Great match on paper. She'll be a fun physical match in certain regards, and Ricochet will be able to show what he does, and I'm sure Claudio can accentuate his power and strength. But you're not putting either guy in a good situation here with them. One of them having to take a loss here. So good match. Not really a fan of how it's set up here. Speaking of another Continental Classic match, we have Mark Briscoe versus Shelton Benjamin. Mark Briscoe faces a tough test against the Hurt Syndicate standard bearer. I think you could get Mark Briscoe to take a loss here and be okay. Shelton, I think you really do want to build and make the Hurt Syndicate seem very, very credible, and not just Bobby Lashley. My cat is messing with water right now. Razor, hey, cut it out. But I don't think this would be the best to have Shelton lose this. I think Mark would be okay with a loss here. Speaking of former ROH World Champions, we have a ROH World Championship match. It's Chris Jericho defending his title against Tomohiro Ishii. So this is the second match of these two. Should be an interesting one. I like both guys. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I did not really like their match last time. It was brutal. I don't like the chest slapping. I know that's kind of Ishii's thing and stuff like that. And I like Ishii from a character and like a physical presence, but bloody chest. It's just I don't need to see that. I mean, it should be a good match to build Jericho up even further as a ROH World Champ. But you want a little bit. I don't know. This will be a good match. I hope they do it differently than what they did last time, to be honest. So, all right. Queen Amanada versus Jamie Hayter, with the winner qualifying for the New Japan International Women's Cup. Didn't know there was a thing of that. Was not aware of that. So could imagine it's Jamie Hayter getting the win here. Obviously, they're building her in feuds, and she's a top star, rising star in AEW. I feel the same way that it should be the same for Queen Amanada, because I think she's extremely talented and unique presence, look, charisma. So just, again, speaks to how stacked the roster is. Also speaks, though, why are you putting certain women in these positions, certain talents in these positions? Because you're doing the same with Ricochet and Claudio. Here we are with Amanada and Jamie Hayter. Just give us something where it's just like, hey, we want to see Jamie Hayter win, and we don't like put her up against somebody that can take a loss here, instead of Queen Amanada, who's been up and down and just kind of put in that position to be a Lance Archer, a former Lance Archer in that role. It's very upsetting for Archer and everything. Makes me mad. Plus, we're going to get the fallout from Full Gear. Get the updates of the world title scene and Christian Cage. What was Jay White doing out there with Hangman Page? So they really have to deliver on that. It's just, look, I said yesterday too, you gotta, if this is not going well, do not be afraid to pivot. You have, sure, the Death Riders are trying to make this huge growing faction. Well, guess what? You have a huge growing faction in the Hurt Syndicate. Have Hurt Syndicate be the ones to take out Death Riders if need be, if this thing is not working. And I think they really need to deliver, because this looks like a weak NWO, and you're beating, okay, you're taking out jobbers, and then they're coming back later in the show. And then on top of it, too, you take out Darby Allin. You think you definitively take out Darby Allin with a actual victory in the ring. And here he shows up on your pay-per-view and closes the show. And you're running away. It's just like, they do not feel like a threat. And they can't continue this trend. This is not good. This is not a good story right now. It's not at all. It's very confusing. And AEW's got a lot to address when it comes to this. And hopefully they do this tonight. You got to right the ship. If not, do not be afraid to pull the trigger. Just let it go, man. Just let it go. Alt Jake takes exception with Tony Khan's booking. which is a fair assessment. Man could not tell stories. He's a matchmaker, not a booker. Yeah, that's the thing. He can always have the final say. He's the boss. But it's just like, why don't you make these matches? Like, you can, book some matches but have somebody be the fulcrum that tells the story of building to these matches and making them make work. It's just find the balance here. It's just, there's nothing wrong with, there's absolutely nothing wrong with hiring somebody that knows what they're doing when it comes to a booking standpoint. And Tony Khan has just been, it's just tunnel vision this and what he knows he likes and maybe what some of his ardent fans like. But it's just like, you want to grow the audience. You want to make this feel like the biggest company you possibly can. And you had a fighter's chance at a moment to, I don't want to say usurp WWE, but you certainly had a chance to be on that level where people would be like, oh man, what do I watch? AEW or WWE? And like, it's, and now you don't have that anymore. And right now, it's not a feeling like you can get that back. It's something drastically would have to change. And I can't foresee anything like that happening. So what happens here? It's going to be very interesting. Either way, lots we'll be talking about next week and when me and Robert return. But should be an interesting show, whether it's disappointing or entertaining. So let's see, guys. We're just sending you a reminder. I'd love to hear who your ultimate Survivor Series team is. You pick 4 guys, or you can pick the 4 women if you want to do a women's side of things. But just put them in the comments here, and I'll read them off. Interesting to see who your ultimate Survivor Series. Anybody from any era, mix and match, have some fun with it. Because I love Survivor Series. Yeah, let Double J book, Dre. I'm with you. Let Double J book. Make it happen. Friend of the show. He knows what he's doing. I don't see why him and Tony Khan can just boom coincide with one another and make things happen. So here we go. All Jake added, if he had someone booking where Tony could learn, but from day one, he thinks he knows best, has lost all goodwill, most of the audience, and the respect of just about everyone. It's tough. When it's your company, you want to do what you want to do. And but the neat thing about it is, like, you'd like to think like you'd take a step back and realize, hey, I'm a wrestling fan, but I'm not a wrestling guy. I'm not I need to consult with somebody that knows what the heck they're doing. I mean, even when you had Vince at his craziest, he still had Michael Hayes there. He still had Bruce Pritchard there. There was still people that he sought and valued opinions of, whether he took them or not. But it's just like there were, and like you think about a lot of the reasoning that WWE was a successful formula was because of a name like a Bruce Pritchard or a Pat Patterson or dare I say, even at times, a Vince Russo. So I think there's something to be said when you have somebody with some knowledge of how the pro wrestling business operates. And we all know Tony's had that and still has some of that. Like, you think of all the names that have filtered through there that you've been like, man, what a great mind to have backstage. Arn Anderson, Jake the Snake is still back there. Jeff Jarrett, Tully Blanchard, Jerry Lynn's still back there. Dean Malenko. And I'm sure he's taking input from some of these guys for sure. But it's when it comes to like sitting down and hammering things out, it would only elevate Tony Khan if he had somebody credible as his right-hand man to make these booking decisions and get to those matches that maybe Tony Khan wants to see and that he thinks the fans want to see. It's a tag team effort. It's definitely, and there's no wrongdoing when it comes to, hey, getting some help. That's it. All right, we got one Survivor Series team. I'm starring that one. Let me see. All right, I have Johnny Discos. Guys, yes, get your fantasy Survivor Series team in. Which 4 would you choose on your team? Who would you pick to be your ultimate Survivor Series team? I will give mine at the end of the show. All right, let's. My cat is going nuts right now. He's going nuts. He knows it's Thanksgiving. He's knocking stuff around. He's just going berserk. Okay, let's take a look at Survivor Series here. I need to pull up the card. Obviously, we have the War Games match. The match everybody's very excited for. The match that I think WWE's done a very, very nice job in building towards. And this is gonna feel like a big event, and that's what you want to see from Survivor Series. For so many years, Survivor Series felt forgotten about. It felt like something that was very special when we were kids and growing up and seeing, all the unique teams that were together, and it almost felt like a veering away from maybe what you see from storytelling standpoint, because you get some odds and ends teams, but it felt like a special occasion and it felt very Thanksgiving. I think WWE's done a nice job at doing this and making it feel like a sorry, an ad just popped up. That's just a lot. There's a lot of value in that, and I think War Games puts an exclamation point on what the Survivor Series can be about, with the blending of something as historic as War Games. So, and having the story within the cage going down here, you have New Bloodline versus OG Bloodline with some wild elements, as Bronson Reed is in with the part of the mix of the New Bloodline. Then you have a wild card and CM Punk make the appearance. Where does all this lay out? It takes some thought for sure, because you think, what's Paul Heyman up to? Does he have an ulterior motive? You, like Robert mentioned, we get the indication too, since Roman made that phone call, he hasn't been in contact with Heyman since all this happened, since Heyman got powerbombed through a table. Is there animosity there? Is Heyman pulling a fast one on Roman? What will be CM Punk's intent? We're going to hear about it on Friday. He'll state his case, but will there be more to come when it comes to the actual match and what goes down in it? Robert has the believable, still what some surprising outcome, that it's going to be Sami Zayn who turns on the OG Bloodline and causes further rift. And then you have a significant moment where Sami is on the same side of Kevin Owens after like the initial thing about him not being valued as a family when it comes to the Bloodline. So there's a lot of story points here. Hey, we can't forget, not that I don't think he'd get involved in this match, but we can't forget about Seth Rollins, who was really pitched to be that fifth man and declined. And now they found a substitute when it comes to CM Punk. So what elements come into play there? So they set themselves up extremely nicely across the board. I do think the New Bloodline wins and should win, because you want to continue to build to WrestleMania and make this story between all the characters that play here really come to a clash when it comes to WrestleMania season. Whether that's The Rock, whether that's you're trying to make Jacob Fatu feel very even more significant than he already is. You really want to add some credibility behind somebody again like Solo, who is an understated crux. Like, I think they've had some missteps with him, to be honest, when it comes to protecting him and making him seem like a viable tribal chief. And I know there's a certain element where you don't want him to feel that way, but I think he took some losses that made him feel much lesser than. And but they did a decent job at getting him back by having him get a definitive pin against Roman Reigns at Crown Jewel. And then here he is running the ship here into War Games. So should be a fun one. If I had to make a prediction, like I said, I think the New Bloodline wins. And I think I'm going to go with Robert's prediction and say that Sami Zayn is going to turn on the New Bloodline, or turn on the old Bloodline. So there it is. Lock it down. That's my pick. We also have another War Games match, a women's War Game match, with Rhea Ripley teaming up with Bianca Belair, teaming up with, help me out here, I'm trying to find the matches. Hold on a second. Survivor Series. But what they've done here. Oh, yeah, teaming up. Well, I know they're going up against Nia Jax, Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, and Candice LeRae here. So I think this is going to be a babyface win, and I think the show will lead off with this here. So yeah, so it's Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, Nia Jax, Candice LeRae, and Tiffany Stratton versus Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Io Sky, Bailey, and Naomi. So good, and this is good. I think this is good too because it's a good set of baby faces versus a good set of heels. You have Tiffany, you have Nia, you have Rising One and Candice LeRae, who they're kind of trying to build a little bit around here, and then you have the 1-2 punch of Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. But then you have a really, really great babyface side with Rhea, Bianca, Bailey, Io Sky, and Naomi. Now, Bailey, they have not handled her in the best way, I think, as a babyface. She's kind of been just treading water as a babyface, and so I think they should really do more with her. Find a certain way to. I would keep her babyface for sure. I would not turn her heel again. You got to find that balance of where you got the hugger, but then you also have a new version of Bailey too. So I think there's something to do there. But I do think the baby faces, will win that match, and it will be the opener of the show. I just had that card up. Here it is. Okay, we have LA Knight versus Shinsuke Nakamura for the United States Championship. LA Knight still over. I cannot argue that. I think he's had a okay run with the United States Championship, but I don't know how well it's really working ultimately, how much value he's getting out of it and they're getting out of him when it comes to that. So maybe it's time to move on with that. And I think Shinsuke Nakamura is a good one to do it. You just had him come back, this new look, this mysterious vibe, this samurai, evil samurai kind of vibe going down. I think you need to capitalize on that right now and have him beat LA Knight. And whether that's cheating, you can have him cheat, is fine. And then he's your new champion, and you have somebody, whether it's LA Knight or whether it's somebody else, chase Shinsuke up through WrestleMania here. I think you're setting a table for a new thing going on, and that you've done what you could with the LA Knight with that United States Championship. So here we go. Let's get to a little bit of feedback here when it comes to that main event. Alt Jake says, I think Seth either gets involved or attacks Punk after. Maybe Seth is why the OG bloodline lose. Sets up Punk and Rollins at WrestleMania 41. It's an interesting one, Alt Jake. I think you might be onto something there. Definitely. I think that's a definite possibility. So I like that. Triple H says, surprised they didn't show any bit of Seth's reaction when they showed that BTS footage of his return. They showed everyone else's, even if they cussed. Yeah, kind of surprising, but maybe it's a slow play they're doing. But I mean, maybe not. If it's all Jake, what's all Jake saying? They're just gonna go right to it. So who knows? Starring some names here, some more Ultimate Survivor Series teams names. Again, folks, before we close out, if you have some Ultimate Survivor Series teams that you want to name, who would be your dream Survivor Series team? You tell me in the comments, and I'll read them off. All right, let's continue to close out this show. What we got here: Braun Breaker versus Sheamus versus Ludwig Kaiser for the Intercontinental Championship. Braun just won that title back. I would be seldomly surprised if they took it off him already. I would be very surprised if they put it on Sheamus, but I would be seldomly surprised if they put it on Ludwig Kaiser, because Kaiser could be the curveball that comes into play and could be, almost like a decision point of, hey, yes, we believe Braun Breaker is great as this baby face rather than a heel. And then you can have him chase Ludwig Kaiser, through the months moving forward when it comes to WrestleMania, maybe. But I think there's a lot of value in Ludwig Kaiser, and he's really hitting his own stride. And the dynamic between him and Gunther has been great too. So I think it's very well done and very fun of what's going on. Let me see. Hey, Razor, what are you doing? Huh? Hey, get over. Hold on, I'll be back. Oh yeah, I'm back. Kevin's messing with something. So there we go. that's what I think about that. Um, Folks, you know, I am a big fan of trying to look good. I think we all try to do that. I think holiday season, Thanksgiving, you don't really just dress down when you happen to go to a family member's Thanksgiving or a friend's Thanksgiving. You kind of want to look nice, right? You want to make sure that you're uh, dressed to the not to the nines, but respectable looking, good looking, and you want to feel good while you eat good. That's another thing too. So can't speak enough about True Classic. True Classic sent me and Robert some packs of T-shirts. I know he got sweatpants. I got a pair of jeans. I got a pair of underwear, and I love it. They are undoubtedly. If I'm going out, it's my go-to thing. But the T-shirts, especially, they fit around your top nicely, so your chest and your arms, and they hang well on you. So if you're trying to get back in shape, if you're a little self-conscious maybe about what your midsection may look like, it kind of masks that for the time being until you really get to. But it's a good boost to confidence because it makes you look good, even before you put in the effort to do some of this stuff. So True Classic, they hit the nail on the head when it comes to just the simple but classic feel that is in the name. So it's a great product. I cannot speak enough about it. And there's a big sale going on. It's the holidays, and True Classic is gonna make you want to get this stuff here, and I cannot blame you for doing so, because they're the best selling T-shirts, hoodies, jeans, and more. You can get them in 3, 6, and 9 packs, and you can pick and choose. They got T-shirts, they got hoodies, they got joggers, they got jeans. Like I said, there's a lot of active wear. So and there's the fall and winter must-haves: long sleeve Henleys, waffle hoodies, jeans, button-ups, joggers, and more. Like I said, you can mix and match clothing to work with your lifestyle, and it's trusted by over 4 million customers and 200,000 plus reviews. It's super comfortable. They're perfect fitting essentials that make for the perfect gift for the men in your life, or hey, for you too, so you can look good around the holidays. And like I said, the holidays are here, and True Classics ultra comfortable, perfect fitting essentials make for the perfect gift for you and the men in your life. So if you're ready to upgrade for your closet, shop now and unlock big savings during their huge holiday sale. It is a huge sale too. It's going on big time. So just go to my exclusive link at trueclassic.com/rumor to save. That's trueclassic.com/rumor. Please support our show and let them know that me and Robert sent you. End the year with holiday cheer. Thanks to True Classic. Thank you, True Classic. And hey, we are all trying to get ready to eat big time for Thanksgiving. I know I cannot wait for some turkey, some cranberry sauce. Cranberry sauce is a very divisive product around Thanksgiving time, but I love it. And I'm a new adopter to it. Like in my household, we didn't really have cranberry sauce growing up, but going to other people's occasions and outside of the family for Thanksgiving, I dabbled in those cranberry dark arts and I love them. But hey, you eat a lot during Thanksgiving, so you always want to kind of prepare to eat healthy and make sure you're eating right after and maybe before too. And I am always a sucker for cereal. As a kid, I loved eating cereal, but as an adult, I don't want to get all that sugar, and most cereals don't give me that protein that I need. Then I found Magic Spoon, a nostalgically delicious cereal that tastes just like my childhood favorites, but without the sugar and with a ton of protein. And if you're already a Magic Spoon fan, I have big news. Magic Spoon has turned their super popular cereal into high-protein treats that are light, crispy, and taste just like those classic crunchy cereal bars. Magic Spoon's brand new treats are so delicious, and they have already become my favorite before and after gym snack. And that's true, too. I love the frosted ones. Just the simple frosted ones, but they have peanut butter chocolate ones that are really great too. From the cereal stuff, every serving of Magic Spoon cereal has 13 grams of protein and 0 grams of sugar and 4 grams of net carbs, so you can feel good about what you're eating. The most popular flavors are fruity and cocoa, and there are so many more. Yeah, I like just the straight up frosted ones. It has a good hearty feel to it, and like that. But I also like the peanut butter. And I put that in yogurt, mix it up in there. And like I said, the treats are brand new. They're crispy, crunchy, and airy, and an easy way to get 12 grams of protein on the go. And for the first time ever, Magic Spoon treats are available in grocery stores with delicious flavors like marshmallow and chocolatey peanut butter. Yes, the marshmallow is my go-to one. So get $5 off your next order at magicspoon.com/rumor or look for Magic Spoon on Amazon or in your nearest grocery store. That's magicspoon.com/rumor for $5 off Magic Spoon. Hold on to the dream. The American dream, baby. That's some Magic Spoon you got to get in your belly. Okay. Another sponsor I really like. My goodness, this is I am so happy with our sponsors. These are like 3 heavy hitters here. Plus, we get Blue Chew too. All right. Wondering who will be diving into stuffing less than 2 times? Or who will be eating more than 3 pieces of pie on Thanksgiving? Then you got to play Pick 6 from DraftKings. Your shot to turn a little cash into a lot. It's super simple to get started. First, you download the DraftKings Pick 6 app, now available in Texas, California, and so much more. And then select between 2 or more players and choose if they have more or less of a stat like yards, touchdowns, sacks, and more. And for the first time, Pick 6 players, check this out. New customers play $5 and get $50 in Pick 6 credits. Look, it's the Dolphins are playing the Packers this weekend, Thanksgiving. Now, I believe it's a primetime game. I do believe it's in Lambeau Field. But I have a hunch. If I were to pick, I would definitely pick Tua Tagovailoa to kind of shock and awe a little bit here and at least get 1 touchdown pass. I would go over 1 touchdown pass for Tua Tagovailoa. I know it's not too risky, but I think he's going to get 2. I think he's going to get 2 touchdown passes. So consider that perhaps. But you can download the DraftKings Pick 6 app now and use code RUMOR. That's code RUMOR for new customers to play $5. Get $50 in Pick 6 credits. Only on DraftKings Pick 6. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org in Connecticut. Must be 18 plus. Age and eligibility. I always screw this up. Eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Pick 6 not available everywhere, including New York, Ontario. Void where prohibited. 1 per new customer. Bonus award as non-withdrawal Pick 6 credits that expire in 30 days. Limited time offer. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos. So do it, guys. DraftKings is a blast. I love it. It adds a whole nother element to my football fandom and other sports fandom as well. So there we go. And it's the good old one. The one that Robert hits a home run every time he says it is Blue Chew. Does Blue Chew work? If you're asking that question, we want you to know that Blue Chew is putting their money where their mouth is by giving you a month free. Blue Chew is an online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra, but at a fraction of the cost and in chewable form. The process is simple. Sign up at BlueChew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. Blue Chew tablets are made in the U.S. of A. and prepared and shipped daily to your door. The best part, it's all done online. That means no visits to the doctor's office, no awkward conversations, and no waiting in line at the pharmacy. You can take them anytime, day or night, so you can be planning ahead or be ready whenever an opportunity arises. So you could be missing out on the best sex of your life. Blue Chew wants to make men rock hard. They told me that's the mission, that they will not stop until every man is bricked up like a brick house. Till every tent is pitched, till every rod is raised. Discover your options at BlueChew.com. We got a special deal for our audience. Try Blue Chew free. Just pay $5 shipping at checkout when you visit BlueChew.com. That's BlueChew.com to receive your first month free. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And hey, we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring Rumor and Innuendo. Thank you, Blue Chew. All right, we have one more match to predict here. It is Gunther versus Damian Priest for the World Heavyweight Championship. I love what they've done with this. I know people have kind of taken exception to how they handled Gunther, but I think it's totally fine. I think you do need to tell a story with him. And hey, I don't think there's anything wrong with the heel kind of questioning himself and his confidence because it kind of elevates Damian Priest, who has gotten Gunther's GOAT. So I think that adds to his level of smart and intuition in feuding with Gunther. And so you're putting them both in positive predicaments, I think, because you're putting another layer onto Gunther of like, hey, okay, he's usually this confidence guy. Right now, he's not. Like, it's Damian Priest who has his number here. And then ultimately, you have Gunther win the match, whether that's pretty definitive or whether that's under nefarious means. I think there's value in either or that you can do. And in the same turn, you're very much still protecting Damian Priest by how well you've built him and made him have the upper hand on Gunther on this. That being said, Gunther will win this match, I think. And if I had to guess how it will happen, I think there will be a little bit of nefarious means that he wins under. And maybe that's from help from Ludwig Kaiser, something Gunther doesn't want. But then he still gets the win. And then you still have that hanging participle, whatever you want to say, when it comes to like Damian Priest in his way still has Gunther's number. So I think Gunther wins this under nefarious means. All right. It is time for our main event. Oh my gosh, we got some interesting ones here. Let me make sure I'm starring some. Now, we might have a couple Joker ones here. But okay, here we go. We're going to run down some of your Survivor Series teams. We're starting with Dre Owens here. His Ultimate Survivor Series team. Randy Orton, Will Ospreay, AJ Styles, and Sid. That's a really unique one. I love it. Yeah, you have those some two guys that really transcended the business when it comes to their athletic styles, and AJ Styles and Will Ospreay. But you have like a seasoned, polished veteran like Randy Orton, and you have that monster heel in Sid. So that's a good one. Johnny Disco goes the Wild Samoans, Roman Reigns, and Jacob Fatu. Ooh, that's a good one too. Man. Yeah, you're getting that Samoan dynasty and a half right there. That's definitely a good one. Andrew Hermes, who is our research guy for Arn Anderson, Ultimate Survivor Series team, Hogan, Austin, Cena, and Roman. Oh, he's going with them heavy hitters. Surprised, no Rock, but Roman. That's an interesting one. So there you go. Yeah, heavy duty. And then he said for the women, Becky, Charlotte, Rhea, and Nia. Okay, I like that. I like Becky and Charlotte. And Rhea especially too. That's a good one too. Nia too. Nia gets such a rough case against her. It's like, no, she's great at what she does. From that monster women's heel, and she's good looking, and it's just she adds a lot of value and variety to the thing, and I think she's a good women's champion. Stamp says LAX Homicide and Hernandez with Conan, the Hardys, and Cena. Not sure if he wants 4 or 5. I wanted 4. So I do like Homicide and Hernandez with the Hardys. I also like Homicide and Hernandez with Cena. I think that's pretty cool too. But that's a good one, Stamps. I like it. I appreciate going for that one. Alt Jake, his Ultimate Survivor Series team. He says just the click, LOL. HBK, Diesel, Razor, Triple H. And if it's teams of 5 strive to survive, add in X-Pac. All right. My initial pitch was 4. So you hit it with HBK, Diesel, Razor, and Triple H. So there you go. You go with the click. I like it. Johnny Disco really going out there here. RoboCop, the ECW Zombie, Gobbledygooker, and David Arquette. Kind of like that. They would be that would be a story you could tell right there. And now Triple E. He's got one here too. Umaga, Crime Time, Brock Lesnar, and Great Khali. So that would be 5. But you pair them up anyway. I think Umaga, Crime Time, and Brock Lesnar would be a lot of fun. You could do some fun moments with Brock and Crime Time, and certainly Umaga too. I like Great Khali, but yeah, it's still good too. No, just today, Robert. I'm closing out the week here with this one, so it's a super duper one, and I have a lot to talk about that I previewed Survivor Series, previewed AEW Dynamite, and gave my predictions. So that's it. So I will give you my team. I put some thought into this, and I think I'm pretty happy with it. Obviously, you're going to look, I named my cat after this guy. The belt's behind me here. The belt cover too. Yeah, I'm going with Scott Hall as he's going to be on my team, my Ultimate Survivor Series team. Then I will also add in Terry Funk. Got to put the Funker in there. He's always a wild card. I will then do also. This is tough. RVD, obviously, got to do my co-host RVD. I got to pick him, man. He's 5 stars. That element of adding RVD with Terry Funk and then Scott Hall in there too. I mean, you can't really get to that. And you know what? I'm gonna complete it here with the Terry Funk retirement show too, and put Bret the Hitman Hart on my team. So we got Razor Ramon or Scott Hall, Bret Hart, Terry Funk, and Rob Van Dam. That is my Survivor Series team. Lock it in, guys. Lock it in. Tony Khan adds his own here. Brock, Angle, Hogan, and Cena. You know, you can't go wrong with Kurt Angle. That is for sure. So Brock and Angle together with Hogan and Cena. And it's, you know, you're getting two stars that are kind of similar to one another in their respective ways of the marketing with Hogan and Cena, but then you get the credibility wrestling aspect of it with both Brock and Angle. So that's an interesting one, Tony. Wrestling Old Head, thanks for joining in. I forgot to shout you out at the end of the show yesterday, but HBK, Bret Hart, Randy Savage, Scott Hall, and Roddy Piper for series. That's a good lineup there too. I said 4, but the 5th one, that's a hodgepodge of great characters, and Scott Hall's a favorite this today, so I like that, and I'm always a fan of that. Hey, fan of you guys. Thankful for you guys. Thankful for you tuning in every Monday through Friday at noon Eastern Standard Time, and showing support for the show, and chiming in and giving your feedback and great insight too. I think I seriously value one of everybody's opinion on here and their input. Whether I agree with it or not, I value it. I think it's great to get other people's perspectives on what could happen, what should happen, and certain things like that. So Wrestling Old Head clarifies he's going to delete HBK. So it's Bret Hart, Razor, Randy Savage, and Roddy. I like it. But yeah, just want to thank everybody here. I want to thank Robert. Thankful for Robert and getting me on the show here with him. It's for what's it been? It's been almost 10 months, maybe 9 months now that me and Robert have been doing the show together. So very thankful for him. Thankful for Conrad and his friendship and having being under the umbrella of ad-free shows. Thankful I'm able to do this. So thankful for SE Scoops, and being a dirt sheet writer and getting to do what I do. It's a hustle. It's a fun hustle. And it's something that I want to continue to grow, learn, and challenge myself with. So, and I appreciate everybody doing what they do. So thank you to everybody, seriously. And thankful for the sport and the shows I get to do with RVD, One of a Kind with RVD. I'll plug right now. New episode dropped on Monday. Rob and I cover a lot. We go 2 hours. We talk about his friendship with Test. We talk about oh my gosh. There's another Wild New Jack story. His thoughts on WWE and ECW when the brand first became that for sci-fi and what he liked about it. So some cool stories there. Magnum TA and Greg Gagne and I just recorded an episode yesterday too, live at 4 p.m. on the FullHorsemanNetwork.com. You can check it out live. I'm going to publish the audio here today. So type in 4 Horseman Network on your podcast feed of choice. Hit subscribe. Give that feed 5 stars because you not only get Gagne and Magnum, but you get Arn. You get Arn's show on there. So all the audio will be available there. The new episode will drop today on that channel. And go to FullHorsemanNetwork.com. Hit subscribe there. Subscribe to OnceTrueSportTV.com. And you can get all our added content there when it comes to live shows and certain things like that, like Blue Meanie. Zach Haydorn does a 1TS Daily and from PW Torch originally. So shout out to him. Shout out to all those guys, Adam Bernard, Blue Meanie. I'm thankful for everybody that I get to work with. Thankful for my degenerate brother, Marcus. Really proud of him in making his pro wrestling debut. And he's put the effort in. He's done the work. And it's paying off for him. He's a natural and very, very happy for him. And I love him as well. So thank you guys. Thankful for you, Wrestling Old Head. Thank you for you, Don. This great community of like minds. Send my holiday wishes to Robert as well. Definitely will. And thank you to Robert. Love the show. Love you guys' support. So appreciate everybody here. Enjoy your Thanksgiving. If you're not American, and just get something good to eat on Thursday. Why not? Party down. Hey, you know what? Like Wu-Tang says, protect your turkey neck. I'll see you next week.